I thought it was funny when Lou Ferrigno was charging $25 for an autograph. Now it turns out Sam Sulek is charging $80 at the upcoming 2024 Arnold Classic. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Strength Addicts on all social media platforms, powered by Iron Mag Labs, makers of this bad boy right here, Complete Protein. This has got egg, casein, whey protein isolate, old school, new school for muscle. So guys, you know, I got to tell you something, 80 bucks, man, that's pretty steep for an autographed picture. I know Sam's like this big influencer and loves to train and loves to eat and loves all things bodybuilding. You know, he's doing bro chat and he's all over the place, but $80. Times are tough, man. Times are tough, you know. There's not a lot of work, you know. The economy's kind of like, you know, blah. 80 bucks, man. That's groceries, you know. That might be your light bill. I don't know, man. 80 bucks. Wow. He's not a pro. Doesn't compete. Maybe that doesn't matter. I don't know. But I just think 80 bucks is a lot of money. But here's the difference, though. I wrote an article for Iron Magazine. And I'm going to include that article here. Over 7,000 articles at Iron Magazine, guys. That's wild. That's amazing. I write 10 articles a month for them. Been doing so for years, have hundreds of articles, and I'm very proud of them all. But something that I wrote about in my article is that the difference, perhaps, because I don't know, I mean, maybe you know, I don't know, but the difference between Sam Sulek charging $80 for a picture at the Arnold Classic, just in a couple of weeks coming up here in Columbus, Ohio, and Arnold, or not Arnold, actually Arnold doesn't charge for autographs, actually, nor does Jay Cutler, or Ronnie Coleman, or Dorian. Actually, nobody charges for autographs. But the difference between Sam charging for 80 bucks and Lou Ferrigno, greedy-ass Lou Ferrigno, some years ago, who owned gyms and had a hit TV sitcom and making money from The Incredible Hulk in the 70s and Pumping Iron and everything that has his name and likeness, is that Lou was probably pocketing the $25. And I don't think the same can be said for Sam. Not only don't I think Sam set the price at $80, I don't think Sam is keeping the $80. He doesn't seem like the greedy type. He doesn't seem like he would even charge you $10 for a photo. But here's the deal. He's a sponsored athlete with Hostel. Fouad Abiad is the owner of Hostel. If an athlete's going to get, I don't know, $10,000 a month, they need to make at least $20,000 to justify it. Now, some people would say, well, if you pay him 10, shouldn't you just make 10? That's called breaking even. You don't make any money that way. You break even. That's stupid. I'm sorry, but that's stupid. If you've got a business and you pay $10,000, you want to get $20,000 back, minimum. Maybe 30,000 back, maybe 40, maybe 50. The more, the better. Every month, the athlete's going to get $10,000 or whatever amount of money automatically deposited if it's a good contract. They're not going to have to contact the sponsor and say, hey, can you pay me? Hey, it's the first of the month. No, it'll be automatically deposited on the first of the month, or maybe if it's a really good contract on the 30th of the month, so that on the first of the month, the funds are available. And every month, on the first, it's there. So the athlete has stability. They can live a life and not worry about whether their checks are going to bounce. But on the return side, whatever the sponsor tells the athlete to do, provided that it's spelled out in the contract, and you would hope that there would be a written contract, athletes got to do it. Whether that's appearing on Bro Chat, whether that's signing pictures that will be charged at $80, whether that's working a booth, whether that's not doing an interview with Desktop Bodybuilding, or not doing an interview with RX Muscle, or not talking to Johnny Bravo, but doing Bro Chat and signing pictures for 80 bucks. Now, some contracts are less restrictive than others. some contracts and some supplement companies, or just sponsors in general, are of the opinion that the more press that you do, the more you're going to be out there, and the more that your sponsors are going to benefit as a result. Other sponsors are of the opinion that they're paying you, so you're only going to appear on their stuff and no one else's. Contracts are about mutual assent. If both parties assent, if both parties want it, and the contract's not one-sided, it's enforceable. So the same way that an athlete like Sam Sulek can live a life comfortably, depending on that check to be deposited and those funds to be available on a set day every month, he's got to give back for that. There's no free lunches in bodybuilding. Now, whether or not the hostile contract is substantially more restrictive than, say, a muscle tech contract, that's debatable. Have I ever seen a hostile contract? No comment. Have I seen Sam's contract? Absolutely not. But in my opinion, do I think Sam set the price of $80 for a photo? No. Do I think he's keeping the $80? No. Do I think he's getting a portion of the $80? No. But that's just my opinion. What's yours? And let me address one last point made by Jason Sonch of the Bodybuilding News Network, a point that I agree with. And that is that aside from the fact that $80 is an awful lot of money for a photo, whether or not Sam is behind it or not, whether or not Fuad is behind it or not, whether or not it's something, who cares? At the end of the day, if you go there to get that photo, you're also, at the very least, Jason's point, agree with it 100%. At the very least, you're buying an Arnold Classic Expo ticket. So you are growing bodybuilding. You are helping the sport. You are helping the event. The same event, which last year almost didn't happen, not until they added an extra $100,000 to the pot. So again, it's a lot of money. Maybe it's a ripoff, whatever it may be. I'm not here to, what you do with your money is your business. That's another thing. If you want to spend it, spend it. But at the very least, it's helping the sport of bodybuilding. It's helping the second biggest event in the sports. And, it's a win-win all around, even though it may be an awful lot of money for a picture from a guy that doesn't compete, isn't a pro, isn't a Mr. Olympia, isn't Arnold Classic champion, and also really, I don't think has any interest in competing. But then again, is competing all that it's cracked up to be? Do you watch a person because they won the Mr. Maple Street, or do you watch a person because you believe in what they're about? You want to emulate what they're about. You like their physique. I think it's probably more so the latter than the former. But again, it's all subjective. My opinion, your opinion. You do what you want with your money. But as Jason Sonch from the Bodybuilding News Network put out, it is growing bodybuilding. And that's an excellent point that I wanted to make sure to include in this video. Be sure to check out Bodybuilding News Network, and also be sure to check out more Strength X videos and the link down below to read my article at ironmagazine.com.